everybody, it's me, Miss You, and now you have your 3 parts. We are going to create our BOM. BOM means bill of materials. We're going to go over here to the assembly. We're going to assemble everything. We're going to go insert 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go check. I'm going to go check, and now I'm going to separate them in order to move them around. So I have my 3 parts. The first thing we always do when creating any assembly is we're going to right click and then we're going to fix it in place. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add fasten made over here, and the underside, that's the top of the arc is over there, and over here. Let's do an isometric view. And you could see it does not look like the picture because what we have to do, we're going to go check, but we need to create an offset to line this side up right over here. So let me go X here. I'm going to double click on the fasten made again. I'm now going to select an offset, and our offset I think is 0.625. And that lines it up the wrong way. So now we're going to go negative 0.625. If I looked at the direction of the X, I might have been able to do it. There it is. Point perfectly lined up, 0.625. We're going to do the same thing with the arc. We're going to take the fasten over here. I'm going to, let me just turn it around a bit. Okay, there's the center over here. And I'm going to get the center over here. Whoops. Let me look at it isometrically. There it is. And I'm going to change the direction. And I also have to use the offset. I'm going to go check. I'm now going to use the offset key over here. I think it's going to be offset. I'd like to do it right to the edge, which is 0.5. I'm going to go check. And I want to look at the front view, which looks good. And I'll look at the left view, and that looks good. The thing is, we want to see it move 0.15 to the right or to the left because it's a little bit on the edge. So we're going to now go back to our offset, and let me look at isometrically. And we want to move it along the y-axis. Do you see the green one? So we're going to go to the y, and we're going to move it 0.15. So it's a little bit along the edge. Okay. I'm going to go check, and let's take a look again. Let's go to, this is the front view. I'm going to go to the left view over here, and I want to see if my Y, it did not take. So let's try it again. 0.15. I'm going to go check, and it looks good. Okay, so by using the offsets, we're able to shift things along when they're not in the right position. The next step is we're going to create our bill of materials. This is the bill of materials, and I already wrote the names in, but you want to double click on the squares. You have the wedge, the tall bar, and the arc. For the description, all I did was write the materials, and it is done. Now we're going to move to the exploded view. This is the exploded view. Whoops, it's right on the bottom. It says exploded view, and you see that quite a bit, exploded views, when you're looking at parts. Basically, we want to add an exploded view. And now we want to select the components and move the, I think it's called the triad. So I'm going to double click on it. I get my triad and I'm going to move it out. I'm selecting one of the arrows and I'm going to move it out, and there it is. Now I feel it's in the way of my arc, so I'm also going to move it up. Whoops. Okay. I have too many things selected. It tells me the parts. Okay, there it is. Now I'm going to take I'm going to make it a little smaller so it's easier to work with. I'm going to take the square, or the bar, I think it's called, and I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to accept that, and now I'm going to do a second step. Okay. I wanted this also up. Great. I'm going to go check. Now I'm going to take the rectangle and I'm going to move it to the right. And it looks good. I'm going to do a distance of 2.5. I think it's negative 2.5 to show you could do it any way you want to adjust it. And I don't think I have to do anything with the first piece. And my exploded view is done. It goes away once I write done. But when you go back in and you go to exploded view over here, it's been saved. Now you could, for step 1, you could rename it and you could say triangle right. For step 2, you could rename it. You could go triangle up. Actually wedge, sorry about that. And for step 3, you could right click. Whoops, I went into it. You want to right click this, rename it, and I'm going to call it bar left. This way, when you move it around, it could adjust itself, but you know what you're moving. Okay? And that is our exploded view. You could also change the name here, rename it basic exploded